There's a quote I really like from the band GLASGOW, from Glasgow, where they said that some people are always moving towards something and some people are always moving away from something. Which feels more apt for you when you look back at the last EP? Do you feel like you were moving towards something or moving away from something with that music?
The last EP?
It's a good question though.
Defo towards something.
Towards something new, like new sounding.
Yeah, defo.
I think.
That's a good question, that, yeah.
Very good. what a starter.
Yeah, lad, like defo, I'd say moving towards something, because I think, like, you know, all bands at least try to change and evolve when they're bringing out newer material and stuff like that, and I feel like we had a bit of time after the first album to like really sit down and do some writing and think about like where we were going to take things, instead of, you know, just writing like the classic like tunes we've just been doing since the start. I mean, the EP does sound like very, you know, of the same vein as 0151, but like I think you can definitely hear a few different like subtle changes.
Definitely, yeah, that's what I think, definitely.
Yeah, because we always thought of it as like that EP is going to bridge the gap between 0151 and the
like
next album.
Yeah, new material.
So it was like similar to 0151, but it's also similar to the new stuff, which is a bit different.
How clear an idea did you have of what the new stuff was when you were making the EP? Like, how clear could you know, obviously knew what had come before, but how clearly could you see what was ahead in terms of making something that bridged the gap?
Do you know, it just kind of happened naturally. Yeah, like some of the tunes that were written were kind of, they weren't even written for anything, you know, they weren't like specifically like this is for the EP, this is for the second album.
Yeah, we just sort of wrote a load of tunes after like we postponed the first tour, and then we were just writing loads, because there was nothing else to do, you know what I mean?
Because then COVID happened, obviously, and then like that tour just got knocked back and back. So like writing was the only thing we had to do. So it kind of just happened naturally, and they were like the 4 songs that we thought like
definitely the strongest out of what we had.
Yeah, they were the strongest, but they were the ones that like had like elements of both like things in, like the old stuff and the newer stuff. Definitely, like, yeah.
You were mentioning the fact that, you know, there are subtle changes between the EP and the album as well. One of them for me is the way that you use guitar. If you think about something like an Up All Night, the way that they're playing off each other, and even the way that you sometimes use it like rhythmically as an instrument is very different to what you're doing on the debut album. How was the approach towards writing guitar different this time around?
It's a mad one, you know, because like I've been listening to loads of like kind of music that's not really like that, but like, you know, like the way we've got like English kind of like British indie and American indie are like 2 really different genres, I'd say. I've been listening to loads of like American indie, and all their guitars are like kind of even like, I don't know, get like inspiration from like pop punk tunes as well, where like they are like really rhythmical, and like the way like they pick and strum and stuff, and like I don't know, I've listened to loads of emo folk type stuff, and like it all
definitely comes into like in together with the songs we make, you know what I mean? Like all the influences, you can definitely hear them all.
Yeah, defo. And I think
it's mad that, like you're saying about Up All Night, like that is like, I haven't listened to that for ages, but that is proper like intricate together, like
everyone's doing it. Like I always say this with our band, that it's like, this is what I think with like bands that I really like love and look up to as well, is like, I think a band does it the best when they're all playing individual like riffs and they're all like bouncing off each other, do you know what I mean? Like it's not like there's one riff and everyone's just playing around it. It's like I'm playing something that Josh is playing something that bounces off that. Aaron's in the back playing something.
Me and him are probably like usually in with each other, you know what I mean? Like me and Aaron, and then they're just bouncing off that, you know what I mean? It's cool. It's good. It's good to write tunes like that with like have that connection with people, you know what I mean? Because it's rare, you know. I think that's rare. I've like jammed with people outside of the band, and it's not the same, is it? You know what I mean? Like, it's still jamming and it's music, but like that
I think
energy
it's like
we have.
Us as well. I think like, because I know loads of musicians who play with each other and like play with other bands all the time, and like we can do that. You did that thing recently. Like we can play with other people, but I just think when us 4 kind of sit in a room, it doesn't really feel like, I don't know if it sounds stupid saying it, but it doesn't feel like much effort to write. It just kind of, we all have been playing together for like, even before we were a band, like 10+ years now, and it's like we all know how each other work. Like, it's mad.
Has it always felt that effortless, or was that something that arrived at a certain point?
Definitely something that arrived. I think like it was
sort of always felt like
always
that,
clicked.
But as of recently, it's just like instance.
Yeah.
When we like someone could even just be like jamming something on the guitar,
turns into a song,
and it turned into a song in about 5 minutes. You know what I mean? And like that's just probably from just playing together over the years for that. I don't know, we were spending time, we were spending like years together. You know what I mean? Like when we think about it, because of COVID and all that, we spent time apart for a little bit. Like we literally were spending enough every day together, you know what I mean? And writing tunes and playing.
Yeah.
If not doing that, we were gigging or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, it's literally been all that time, you know what I mean? So I feel like we just click when we are playing, you know, like it just happens and works, you know what I mean? It's cool.
Although you know, we're talking about how well you know each other and the chemistry, what would you say is something you've learned about each other in the last year that you didn't know previously? What's something new that you've learned about each other that surprised you?
I don't know if it's like learned about each other, but I think since lockdown and everything, I was thinking this the other day, like we've all, do you know when we're on tour now, like it's the first tour we've had in years properly, I feel like we're all very like, we all know how to deal with each other, do you know what I mean? And like, not that there is much to deal with, but like, you know, if like one of us gets annoyed or like someone's like upset about something, or even like, just, I don't know, it just feels like proper, like everything just feels dead easy, you know what I mean? And like,
definitely, yeah.
I
mean, we've grown up together, you know what I mean? Like,
this
is after the first tour we've been in that headspace together, you know what I mean? So we have just all just plugging in for each other and helping each other out, you know what I mean? Like, understanding people rather than being like, when it gets like that, you know what I mean?
Like, we're the worst for that.
That's it,
like, me and him, like, fucking, like, we when shit happens, me and you get proper angry, and like, we'll get angry at each other, but like, we've always just, because we're best mates, we squash it.
That's it.
But like, now I just don't even feel like it gets to that point, because like, everyone just knows how to like, not even like, it's not even like you're trying to diffuse a situation, but it's just like, everyone's just a lot more understanding.
That's it, understanding, defo.
I think we're just a bit mature now.
That's it.
More mature.
Yeah, because we were, like, when we first started touring, we were young, you know what I mean? We were like, these were like 17, turning 18, or 18 just turned. I was 17, like 19. Yeah.
How old were you when you released your first tune again?
17, you were. I think you were 17.
Yeah, just about to turn 18.
Yeah, just about, yeah. Or maybe just turned.
I think just turned, maybe, but that, you know, that's 25 now, so, you know, it's a long time ago. It's not, but it's quite a long time ago, you know what I mean? So we were young when we started, there was a lot to learn. And I feel like now, from the years of doing it, we have learned a lot from it, you know what I mean? And I learned a lot about each other and how to help each other and understand each other, you know what I mean? Like, there's part and parcel with that, just as much as everything else, you know what I mean? You've got to do that as well, you know what I mean? Like, make sure it all fucking gels and that. Haven't you, the whole lot?
Yeah.
You've got to.
One of the other things that's interesting about you coming back to releasing an EP again is that's how you kind of rose to prominence. You had those couple EPs that you released that did really well for yourselves and kind of gave you this platform.
Yeah.
In between that, though, you do have an 18-track debut album.
Just threw that in.
Once you've created something with that scope, how is it going back to like the 4-track EP and just making something a lot more simpler and kind of stripped down and raw?
I thought it was like easier.
Yeah.
I thought it was just, it felt like, I feel like with that album, I remember when we first kind of like had the idea of everything, it was going to be like 22 tracks in total.
Which is massive.
Would have been like 22 in total, and it would have been like, I can't remember, like maybe 4 or 5 interludes or something like that. In that, like in the 22. Which was like, it's quite a mad shout, like, like we just
wanted to do it, didn't we?
But then obviously it shipped back to 18, which ended up being 14 songs and then 4 interludes.
Yeah.
But yeah, then going down to like the 4-track EP was just like, felt like...
It's like just releasing a single.
Yeah.
You know, compared to that, it just felt like we were releasing like a little single.
It felt more, I think it was a bit more fun as well, because like we made the videos for it ourselves as well, and like, it just, and like we got Charlotte Patmore to make a video for it as well, and then Josh made the other video in the band, and like we all spent a bit of time on it, because there wasn't loads of songs to think about, it was just the 4 tunes. It just made everything just, I don't know, just more enjoyable, because we were just focusing on those songs.
Yeah, because we literally had nothing else to do other than focus on it. We had nothing planned or anything, so we were literally just doing that. We were going out, it was nice and sunny outside. And
it was good weather as well, wasn't it?
It was a good time, that.
Yeah, it was.
Nice
actually.
weather, you know, just having a good time with your mates and that.
It was.
Yeah, it's good.
Now that you've been working on the second album too and you look back, was there anything you gained from making the EP before jumping straight into the second album? Could you have gone straight from the first to the second, or did you need something in between?
Well, like, to be honest, when the first one, like when we brought that out, and obviously everything happened the past 2 years, which was just being mad with like COVID and everything, but like in the first lockdown, I was writing a lot, and we were like sending tunes back and forth between us, like, because like we were in like lockdown. So we were like sending tunes between us, like Logic files, and everyone was just adding their little parts. Yeah. And that was originally going to be like the second album that we were like ready to do straight away. But like since then, there's like been so much more music written, and like...
I feel like we've gotten better as well.
Yeah, definitely. Since then. And the newer music's like, it's better than all the songs that were for the original one. Do you know what I mean? So
I feel like that as well. They feel a lot stronger than what we've previously done. You know what I mean? Like, don't know, a bit more rounded off. Not rounded off, but just a bit more mature in how we write stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I think just works. Like, what we're doing is just feels like it's working, doesn't it? Whenever we are writing stuff together, like. Yeah,
because we do a lot of stuff together, and like I do a lot of stuff at home as well. Like, it's not even like, it's more just like, because I just enjoy writing as well, and then when we get in with the band, like, I don't even need to be like, yeah, here's an idea. We'll literally just be jamming, like you were saying before, and then like a new song will just come from that. Yeah. And I feel like that's how we wrote like the first album, was kind of all like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Rather than having songs come in and like structure it and all stuff.
Yeah, I think like for me personally, like I wrote the lyrics like literally so long after we wrote the music to the songs, and like I proper struggled with some of the lyrics for the tunes, because like it was all building up, and I had like 5 songs that I needed to write lyrics for, and like I just had proper writer's block with it. But like this time around, I've written like the lyrics like with the music, and just made like a full song that then when it does get brought like to the band, if it does get brought to the band, we all structure it in a way that suits the night cafe. You know what I mean? And it's just well easier for me, because then the lyrics are done. Everyone can hear what the song might sound like and decide whether we want to do it or not. Do you know what I mean?
Spot on that,
You finished the debut album with Leave Me Alone, which was looking at you like moving through different cycles of mental health. And then you open this EP with Isn't, which is looking at you trying to move through a cycle of being in love with someone else. Those periods, like in your emotions, when you're like in between and you're like in the middle of one thing and another, how often do you feel like you're writing from that? Those periods of like slight emotional uncertainty. How often does songwriting come from that?
Pretty much all of it, yeah. Like I always say, like when we first started, like I used to write lyrics, like and words. You know, I could just write stuff about nothing. That like stuff like Mixed Signals, for example, like that's like everyone's favourite tune of ours, like really, and it's like
goes off, like
it goes off. Like it's my favourite tunes played live, and like that was all like fictional for me. Like that I've never experienced like a breakup or anything like that. You know what I mean? But like I knew so many other people in the world would have felt that, and it's like quite easy to put yourself in that position if you just imagine it. Do you know what I mean? But like for like the newer stuff and like the EP especially, when we brought that out, that was all kind of like maybe I haven't experienced that like in real life, but in my head I was defo like my head was battered at the time, and it was like all the like the words and like Isn't, Think It Over especially, what was Up All Night, and what's the last tune in the EP? I can't even remember.
What's It Feel Like?
What's It Feel Like? Yeah, like all them tunes, they're all like, that's why they're all in the same EP, because they're all basically about the same thing, but they're all just different like kind of outlooks on it. You know what I mean? Think It Over is my favourite one, because it's like, you know, it's like it's all kind of about love, isn't it? But like that one's about like, you know what you've got, so don't mess it up type thing. And that was just because my head was just battered at the time, and like it just kind of like really fit into what I was feeling in my life.
Sick that.
Yeah.
Cool, lad.
What do you feel is the most optimistic song on the EP in terms of looking at that same issue? Or what point in the EP do you feel like you're most optimistic and most hopeful?
I think Think It Over, because I think Think It Over is like like literally in the title, it's like you've recognised that your mind's slipping a bit and you're checking yourself and you're like, know the reality around you and know what you've got, and then like literally think it over and like sort your head out. And that might not sound like, well, no, I think that does sound optimistic, because it means that like you're just kind of taking control of your own life, you know what I mean? Instead of like, isn't proper like, I can't stand you now, you know what I mean? Like it's a proper like, fuck off type of tune, you know what I mean? But like,
and yeah, it's probably one of like the brightest songs you've released, like melodically and like in terms of how it sounds and feels.
Yeah, right. That's also like something that I wanted like to kind of like do as well, and that's what I mean by, you know, bridging the gap from 015 to the next album. Is like 015's got a lot of like dark, moody melodies in it, and it's like it's got quite a few like slower tunes in and stuff as well, and I feel like I want to kind of move to that like happier part, and like that's why that EP is called 4 Better Days, is because like it was for like, I don't know, for when your head isn't as chocker as it was when you were listening to 015.
And on that note, thank you very much, guys. Cheers. Thank you. Cheers, man. Thank you.
Cheers. Sick that lad.
It's sick, isn't it?